micro SD card.
Oh, I thought you were taking up weed smoking there, Steve.
I did not.
I thought you dropped your roach.
I did not drop my roach.
Mm.
He's over there dropping his micro dot.
Little LSD, Steve? Little LSD
What
micro?
That's what I do all day.
I believe it. You know, if you told me, Chris, I've been doing LSD for the past 15 years, I'd probably go, yeah, I buy that. I buy that. You know, you're just like off in some alternate reality.
I am in an alternate reality, but
I believe that shit.
It's not drug induced. Hey, Matt, are you joining us between tornadoes or? Just asking.
Yeah.
Do you guys like just have to jump out of the way?
It doesn't quite work that way, unfortunately. No.
Sounds like they're coming pretty fucking close, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Step to the left, step to the right.
See posts from Matt after they're all huddled in the bathtub.
Yeah.
That would be a good time.
I picture a horrible family experience for the naps.
Well, and for some reason, like the one where we got in the bathtub, like that wasn't as scary as the one last night. And the one last night didn't actually come anywhere near me.
Huh.
Wow.
But the one last night wasn't expected.
Right. It
It
just
was
came out of
just
nowhere.
like
Well, they
alarm
rarely are.
going off in the middle of the night. And I'm like, what is this? More flash flooding? And it's like, no, tornadoes. And they've like killed people in Oklahoma City. And now they're in Tulsa. And they do like a path of the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And they really just, it was, wrapped up in the storm and they couldn't get an eye on it. So it was like, it could hit my house or it could hit nowhere near my house in the next 4 minutes. So it was kind of fun, waiting to see if it was going to hit or not.
Rolling those dice.
Yeah. And that just, of course, shot my anxiety through the roof.
Well, yeah.
Which may be why I feel like crap today.
I've been there.
You see, I told you if you weren't like one of those thrill-seeking behavior type people, you wouldn't have these low lows, Matt.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I said, why did you want to put yourself in the middle of Tornado Alley? And you're like, Chris, I'm a man who lives on the edge.
Yeah. I like to stand on my roof with a parachute and just wait for it to grab me.
And you know there are crazy fucks out there that do that.
I've just created a new extreme sport.
See if you can get close enough to the tornado to get whipped out without getting taken out.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Some 2x4s you got to watch out for. But once you get past those.
Yeah, it's all the debris.
Yeah.
The debris is what gets you, Steve.
I was really close. I mean, we were within half a mile where a tornado struck when I was a kid. That's a scary fucking situation.
Matt lives where there are tornadoes, Steve.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
don't try to relate.
I'm relating because I've been through it.
No.
It took out my school.
No.
School was about half a mile down the road.
Matt wakes up every other Thursday, and his world has amazingly turned to Technicolor, and there's friggin' little people around him singing.
I know I don't have to live through it like Matt does every day of my life, but
I actually did see a funny meme on the internet that said Oklahoma should change their state song to Tornado Sirens.
I'm guessing the tornado sirens get played more than the state song.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Do states have songs?
Yes.
Steve.
I wonder what Ohio's is. Look it up.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Saturday Night Fever, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Grab yourself a couple of
Probably
pants. Start walking down the road.
Cincinnati song. Really?
The WKRP song?
They made up a song for Ohio. It's beautiful Ohio. That's yay.
Cincinnati, WKRP.
Well,
that would be better.
Just to be fair, Oklahoma state song is Oklahoma, Steve. So
yeah, but that's good. That's a good
quit
song.
trying to compete with me, Steve. You lose.
I'm going to try Pennsylvania since I grew up there.
Oh, so now what do you think? You get to change up?
Well, I'm going to take the one that's better.
Oh, I see how
Pennsylvania polka, I think.
Oh,
No, it's not.
no.
This song is called Pennsylvania. I've never heard of it.
Anyhow, are we ready to start this shit?
I'm going to listen to the song, but you go ahead.
That's great, Steve. I'm glad that you're going to be on board. While the intro to the show is playing. You enjoy Pennsylvania.
I will.
Good.
Steve Alcorn's a fine investigator.
Oh, fuck off.
This is the Fortean Slip with your host, Chris York.
I don't need porn, Chris. I have a good woman.
Listen, I have a good woman. I still watch porn.
Co-host, Steve Alcorn.
You are the top shit in Bigfootery if you get the invitation.
Oh, are
I've gotten the invitation 2 years in a row now, Chris.
Wow. Not me.
And sometimes special guest, Matt Knapp.
It's part of growing older, maturing. Makes me more dignified and stuff.
Okay, George Washington.
I opted for the
Isn't that what meth addicts say? That make me more dignified.
Taking on all things strange since 2013.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what the hell.
Are you saying that he's pregnant?
Possibly.
Was he implanted by one of these teenage aliens?
Did that happen to Arnold?
This device, which comes as part of Nintendo's Quality of Life initiative, is
going to have
Quality
kids
of life.
running around banging their heads off bricks.
Yeah.
You're about to witness the strength of creep knowledge.
Good evening and welcome to the Fortean Slip. This is episode 79. Real life zombies. Steve. Zombies. They're gonna come eat your brain, Steve.
That's what zombies do.
They're gonna come eat your fucking brain. From the inside out, Steve.
They're going to go away hungry.
But they might leave you alive. Scary shit, Steve.
Okay.
Yeah. But before we get into the topic of the night, I had thrown Matt a message the other night. He was in no frame of mind for me to discuss said subject with him. I want to stay for the record. But I have access to a woman who is currently on an archaeological dig in Belize. And when she gets back home, she has agreed to come on the show.
Oh boy.
And she would love to talk about, what they do and the Mayan culture and civilization and all that stuff. And like the civilization, like this ancient civilization. I thought it'd be a good idea. And I wanted to get you guys' take on it. Thought it'd be a good idea to go through like what actually happens, like the boots on the ground shit. Because we often talk about this stuff, like these ancient civilizations that are being uncovered, like Göbekli Tepe, and these other different places, and we don't often go into the nuts and bolts, the everyday shit that happens on these dig sites, which I think would be good to know. It'd be good to go through like the day-to-day stuff that they do, and why these people do it. And we often talk about Bigfoot research. We'd like to see like what real people would do, and this is kind of like a thing where there's actual real people doing things the proper way. They don't just have shovels out there. You know, just dig it away.
Bring in the bulldozer.
Yeah, they're not doing that shit. Like they take this stuff like layer by layer.
Oh, little
I
tiny.
think one of the things that she's responsible for when I was talking to her before was the testing the soil samples as they take them from each individual layer. And they take them back and they test them and so on and so forth. But I think it would be fascinating just to get a chance to know, you know, how that whole process is done.
Does she wear a fedora and carry a whip?
Well, see, Matt said, "Can we call her Indiana?" And you know, you two are more than welcome to call her whatever you wish. I live in the same state as the lady, and so you do as you wish.
All right.
She does travel the world.
I just want to know if that's, you know, fantasy.
Is
or
her
reality.
name possibly Jane or Joan?
No,
Damn it.
no. So,
I want to know if she's ever encountered booby traps or curses.
Yes.
all questions that can be asked.
Well, does she do archaeological digs in Egypt?
Belize.
I don't know where that's at.
It's
Navidad.
in Central America.
Okay, well, then there wouldn't be curses there.
Why?
Why? It's a Mayan ruin.
Mayans didn't curse people.
They didn't?
Hello, Steve.
Maybe they did. I don't know. I don't know Mayans from Egyptians. I don't know.
I just want to know how to read that fucking calendar. Can somebody fucking show me how to read that damn thing? I know it's all over. Like, it'd just be like having an old calendar, but I want to be able to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Mayan equivalent of the Farmer's Almanac.
Yeah. Like if you had last year's.
Yeah. You want to sacrifice your virgins on the second week of October.
On top of the pyramid, not at the base.
If your corn isn't knee high by the 4th of July, that's our
If
fault.
you're on the spring solstice and the sun is shining in such a procession, please sacrifice your goat on the lower level platform on Pyramid C.
A Mayan priest with like a straw hat and overalls.
Yeah. But she's been going down there for quite a few years now. She goes down, I think, like at least once, if not sometimes twice a year, down to Belize to the dig site. So I did secure the having her on the show. She just said that she wanted to make sure that she didn't have like a cold or anything like that. And I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, one of those mummy curse colds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We don't want that.
Because I'll probably be sitting across a microphone from her, so I don't want her having a fucking cold either. But yeah, so I thought that would be cool to go through some of that stuff because I just watched a TED talk with Klaus Schmidt, who's the lead archaeologist over at Göbekli Tepe, and watching him discuss about how they're going through and clearing this all out and how, you know, how crazy it is and all that.
And how he's secretly part of an organization trying to recover Nazi relics.
Yeah.
I mean, Klaus Schmidt.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I mean, I whenever I hear them talk about Göbekli Tepe and they're like, oh, they were just hunter gatherers. It's like, were they? Were they really just hunter gatherers? I mean, maybe we got to rewrite some fucking shit here.
I don't think anybody was just hunter gatherers like we think.
Well, no, well, and I mean, like I said, I think that it's about time that like they rewrote or restructured some things, because the ever growing predominant theory now is that the erosion on the Sphinx, rainfall, and that means that the Egyptian civilization has just been pushed back quite a few thousand years.
Yeah.
But I think we need to just start accepting these things, because a lot of them are beginning to be undeniably true. I mean, I've watched the Robert Schoch stuff about the the water erosion on the Sphinx. And if you and just looking at it and looking at the comparisons, it's a no fucking brainer. You don't even have to be a scientist to know. It looks exactly like rain erosion or water erosion. It is exactly the same.
But couldn't high winds and sand do the same thing?
No, it's a completely different type of erosion.
Okay.
It would have eroded the rock in a completely different way. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to talk to somebody in the know who knows like what goes on these dig sites. I think it'll be interesting, and she knows quite a bit about Mayan civilization too. So, I think it could be a good discussion. So,
Yeah, like what the hell happened to them?
yeah, where did they go?
Away.
Yeah, because there are some theories that it was that the first introduction, the first people that got here introduced smallpox, and that wiped them out, or wiped out a lot of these civilizations in Central and Southern America. But I mean, they were just in essence gone. And there were civilizations in South America and Central America that disappeared long before the conquistadors showed up. So there's some baffling things, and then some questions that are, remain unanswered and probably will always remain unanswered when it comes to these civilizations. But I'd love to have some answers. Love for somebody to dig something up that goes, oh, this is what happened. But who knows? So anyway, the topic of the night, real life fucking zombies. If you want to be fucking completely creeped the fuck out, tonight's show is for you. Because I went on an insane rabbit hole. It was like a couple of weeks ago. I found cordyceps fungus, which is a zombie ant fungus. And this thing literally like spreads its spores and they go all over like the jungle floor, or they land on an ant and gets inside the ant and starts taking over their body like almost instantly. They start changing, and then it starts getting them to climb. So they climb up a tree, they get to where the conditions are just perfect, where there's just the right humidity, just the right sunlight, and this fungus makes the ant clamp down on the tree in like a death grip, and that's where it bursts from the ant. It looks like just a stalk that just comes out of it with a bulbous fucking spore sac, and then that bursts and it starts all over again, and just more ants. And these things can wipe out an entire ant colony in no time. Just boom, gone.
Fascinating.
Maybe that's what happened to the civilizations.
Yeah, cordyceps fungus. Hey, and we're gonna get into some fungus that, or actually some parasites that are affecting people. There's a few on the list actually. So the other one that I'd run into is the horsehair worm, and this fucking thing, it gets into like grasshoppers or crickets or whatever, and it changes their brain chemistry so that they instantly seek out water to commit suicide, so that the worm can emerge, give birth and do the whole cycle all over again.
That's badass.
Yeah. It just takes them over, gets them to fucking die. Just jump in.
And it's like a whole process.
Yeah.
I'd like to give that worm to a few people I know.
It's horrible, Steve.
Now today,
I'm just saying.
Today I came across one that I hadn't come across before, which is the castrator barnacles.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
These things take off your penis, Steve.
No,
Now,
Yeah.
they what they do is
it's a lot of work, but whatever. I don't want it.
they enter a crab, a host crab. They find a chink in the claw joints, and then it gets rid of its hard shell, and it's like a slug at that point, and it gets inside of the crab.
Hmm.
Then it like sets itself up, feeding off of the crab and making it into something where it can reproduce. So if it's a female, it will make the crab take care of its babies. If it's a male, it will make it change sex to become a female so that it can take care of the babies. And
Like that at all.
yeah. And like it changes everything. Like if it changes it from a male to a female, it grows a larger abdomen to be able to carry the young. Its gonads shrink and it stops developing fighting claws.
Hmm.
It completely becomes like a female. It's just crazy shit. Crazy ass shit. So
Or the bald guy on Game of Thrones.
that too. Varus.
Yeah. See how I worked a Game of Thrones reference in?
I watched some end scene stuff to the whole Game of Thrones shit.
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't gone down that treacherous path yet.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a petition.
Yeah. I mean, do you really need to petition the Game of Thrones ending? I mean, Christ on a pony, people. Get over yourselves. So the next thing that I come across was the green banded brood sack. This fucking thing's interesting.
That's the one Steve has.
Yes, that's the Sweetwater Legends secret. So what this thing does is the snails generally will eat like bird shit. So when the snails go over to eat the bird shit, they pick up the eggs of these things, these green banded fucking brood sacks, and they start growing inside. Well, what they do is they take over the antenna on the slug, and they grow the antenna. They almost start looking like these caterpillars sticking out of the end of the fucking snail. It will then make the snail climb up to an open space high up so a bird can eat it and then be shit out, thus starting the cycle
It's like cannibalism.
all over again. Cannibalism? What do you mean?
Yeah, because they're shitting out a slug and then a slug goes eat it. That's cannibalism. They're eating slugs. Slugs eating slugs.
No, they're eating shit, Steve.
Yeah, slug shit.
It's a snail eating a brood sack.
All
And
right.
anything called a brood sack is creepy.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw the way these things look, they look like, it literally looks like it grows the antenna till they're like caterpillar like things sticking out of the end of the snail. And it is very strange. But I went on this whole fucking rabbit hole about these damn things, and it just got creepy.
Well, like there was recently a video being passed around social media that showed like the horsehair worm thing.
Yep.
And I believe it was in like a praying mantis.
Yep. I just saw that one.
And that was freaky,
Yeah.
you know. And when I first saw it, I was like, this is bullshit. You know,
But
this is
nope.
like the worms on the meat and you pour the Coke on it. Like, come on. And I looked it up and it's real. And there's like tons of these things. Like, it is absolutely freaky.
Yeah. Well, here's the one that kind of creeped me out about the whole thing. So the ladybird parasite, which is a wasp. And this wasp will find ladybugs. And it will lay the fucking egg in the ladybug. The egg will grow inside the ladybug. It will chew its way out like a fucking chest burster, man, out of this fucking ladybug. But it doesn't kill it. it then, once it creates a way out, it starts spinning a cocoon for itself, which it leaves itself room to be able to get out of the ladybug into the fucking cocoon. Now, after it gets into the cocoon, it has I can't remember if it leaves like a line into the ladybug or if it just drugs the shit out of it with how it's taken over the inside of the ladybug. The ladybug will care for it until it completely hatches. And then after it's hatched, most times, not all times, sometimes they will die, but most times these ladybugs will go back to being just normal ladybugs. They can reproduce and everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They could even get infected with another one of these fucking things. It's just fucked up.
Damn it, not again.
Yeah, no. Yeah, like that fucking in Spaceballs.
Isn't that the one? I did a little research myself.
Yep.
Where like it's believed that they choose the ladybug because of like the defensive appearance, the poison appearance or toxic appearance of the coloring, and like if a predator comes near, like the ladybug will like start kicking and trying to get
the
it away.
ladybug knows how to keep them away.
Yeah, that's
yes, and
that's
the
weird.
wasp have specifically chosen them for that purpose. Yeah, that is correct. But yeah, that was the one that fucking creeped me out because it's like they take it over, and then when they're done, it reverts back to itself. Just goes back to being a fucking ladybug. No. Another fucking normal day. Weird shit. The one that I came across today that I hadn't seen before, was the emerald cockroach wasp. Now this one's a little different. It doesn't. I kind of see this one as a zombie parasite type thing, but it more or less just kind of drugs the fucking thing and takes it and just eats it. But what it does is it takes over cockroaches. It'll find a cockroach, and the first sting it'll sting it will disable its front legs so that it can't get at the wasp. And the second one drugs it and kind of makes it docile. So it'll do whatever the fucking wasp wants. And as soon as it has it docile like that, it takes it by the antenna and rips the fucking antenna off the cockroach. And then once the antenna are off, it drags it back to its nest, lays a single egg on it, and then buries it. And then that egg will grow, eat into the cockroach, and it will systematically eat the cockroach in such a way that it will keep it alive almost right up to the point where it emerges. So it knows how, in what order to eat the inside of the cockroach to keep it alive.
But how?
Exactly. Like, how the fuck does it know how to do this shit?
See, that's the thing that gets me about all of these things, especially in the insect world, because there's a lot of this stuff going on in the insect world. I mean, science will get you so far.
Mm-hmm.
But how?
Mm-hmm.
like the ant thing? That's a fungus, right?
Yeah, it's a cordyceps fungus.
How does the fungus know where to lead the ant? How does it lead the ant
Right.
to where it needs to be and everything? Get the ant to stop there. Like all this is just so weird.
Yeah. And on to our first human parasite.
No.
Oh, yeah. Matt, I saw you posted a picture of a little kitten.
It's not mine.
Doesn't matter. You were in proximity to the kitten.
I was
Did you pet the cat?
adjacent to the cat.
Did you pet the cat?
I
Of course he did.
plead the fifth.
There's a cat. You're gonna pet the damn
Toxoplasmosis, Matt.
No,
Hope you washed your hands.
I did, and I
This-
yelled at Leslie.
This is a single-celled organism. that it infects rats and mice. Now, here's the interesting thing about toxoplasmosis. When it infects rats or mice, it takes away their fear of cats.
That doesn't make sense.
It makes them it makes them attracted to the pheromones in cat urine.
What?
So that they will get eaten by a cat, get shit back out, and then the rats and mice will get into the shit and piss and wind up getting the parasite all over again. It is insane.
And this single-celled organism.
How much it takes. It literally makes them. A scientist described it as it makes them almost take on the characteristics of a cat responding to another cat in heat. It is mind-blowing.
So how does this single-celled organism
know how to do that?
know how to change the chemistry in an animal's brain that reverses the effect of its main predator's pheromones?
Right.
Like,
Yeah. And makes them more apt to go near them. Yeah. It is and here's the thing. Now there's been some new theory about toxoplasmosis, and in that they think that it has some link to schizophrenia. I'm not going to say that. I think that leap is it's too early for them to say that. But there has been some evidence that that toxoplasmosis in human beings can make men tend to be a little more aggressive and women to be a little more promiscuous.
really?
Yes.
Because, I mean, I know some
I-
women who have a
let's
lot of
talk about
cats.
crazy cat.
Yeah, I don't.
Right fucking now.
I know one.
Is she promiscuous?
And
Yes.
she will rip her clothes off in a minute.
No, she has, like the sexual drive of a horny teenage guy, and she always has.
It's the cat.
This is something that they've theorized for a while now, and this is one that I actually buy into. I'm willing to go down the road with toxoplasmosis on this one, but
So maybe I should let Leslie get the cat.
But at the same time, you might have to take some anger management classes, Matt.
Well, he's already got to do that.
I'm okay with that.
Because you might want to,
Yeah.
might want to take some matters into your own hands. Just because that aggression.
Yes.
So yeah. Now here's one that I did not know. Rabies.
Rabies.
Yes, rabies. One of the reasons why rabies, and it will do the same types of things with people too, but in most cases, people never get to that point where they wind up going and biting someone else or trying to bite someone. But in dogs and in other animals that get rabies, it will eventually make them aggressive to bite people, other dogs, in order to spread the virus because it spreads through the saliva.
Cujo.
Correct. I saw a great all dogs go to heaven meme with Cujo.
It just said all dogs go to heaven ?
But yeah, I didn't think of that with rabies.
That's funny because rabies is like probably the most common one that everybody knows about, and everybody knows, the behavior that's associated with it. I mean, anytime there's, any sort of animal attack, well, did it have rabies? But then like you hear about like zombie mind altering parasites and you're like, what? That can't exist. Whenever you grow up hearing about it all the time.
Yeah. Now, and the last one that I had come across, and this one fucking threw me for a loop. I had never heard of this. I had but I guess this study has been done. The influenza virus makes people more sociable.
What?
Yes. They did a study where they gave people the flu vaccine, which basically gives you, in the beginning, because it makes you build the antibodies, it kind of gives you the flu. In that initial period, when you get the flu, you tend to be more sociable. Infected hosts were more likely to head out to bars, go to parties, and be in groups of large amounts of people.
Where it can spread easier.
So when you get the flu, your brain will instinctively try to get you to go out. You're being taken over, man.
That's
You have
weird.
no fucking control.
How does that happen? Can we get a scientist on here to explain this stuff to me?
I want
I'd have been able to, but unfortunately, I stuck my dick in her, and I don't think she'll ever talk to me again.
I wonder what happens if you get the flu and rabies at the same time. You'd be biting a lot of people.
You become a vampire.
That's right.
But I mean, there's a lot of, actually, if you think about it, I mean, all the rashes and poison ivy stuff, like if you get that, it makes you itch and that spreads it further.
Yep. When you start thinking about it in terms like that, how these things change your behavior, and it's something you can't even control. Name one time when you've gotten, poison ivy, or you've gotten a rash, when you've been able to control yourself and stop yourself from scratching it.
Well, no, you got to buy something to stop the itching because you can't stop.
Right. It changes your behavior. And in a way, it's kind of scary.
It is scary.
Because all it takes is for one of these parasites to change just a little bit to affect human beings. What happens if fucking cordyceps mushrooms cordyceps fungus turn us into fucking invasion of the body snatchers, man?
Well, yeah, or you grow a little dude out of your back, master blaster.
Fucking pod people.
I'll be okay with most of them except that gray banded ball.
Shut up, Steve. He's okay with the crab virus.
He doesn't want the fucking caterpillars sticking out of his face.
No.
But gonad shrinkage and losing his fighting claws, he's good with that.
He's all good with the crab.
I am not good with the crab.
You said the only one.
Well, I'm going to revise my statement.
I would like to add an amendment.
I forgot to tell you, it's the fucking crabs that you get on your balls, Steve. So eventually you get the fucking thing.
No, I don't want it.
You get barnacles in your fucking dick.
I mean, survival, man. Life will find a way.
But it's so fascinating that these things have found this insane niche. Like, I mean, they found the perfect vessels for their young, or for their, spawn, or their spores, or whatever the case may be. I mean, these cordyceps things do to these ants, it's fucking crazy. I got a picture right here. I'll share it. Share the shit.
I think the ladybug one is the craziest. That ladybug goes right back into being a ladybug.
That's the cordyceps thing.
Wow.
Yeah. That's after it's taken over the ant. It's made it get to the certain spot to clamp down and die, and then it just grows out of it. And this is
mushroom.
It's very similar to a mushroom. It's a fungus.
Oh, almost looks tasty.
Yeah, Steve, why don't you try that? See if it takes you over. Makes you climb up a tree and chomp down.
I did climb a lot of trees when I was a kid. Maybe.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, but I came across that. That was the first one that I came across was the cordyceps fungus, and I was just like, "This is creepy shit." Because I mean, when it said it could wipe out entire ant colonies in no time, it just boom.
I think the weirdest one is that ladybug one though, because it basically makes it into a slave and then releases it, and it goes back to being a fucking ladybug.
Yeah,
It takes it
and
over.
it chooses the
changes it.
ladybug specifically
Yeah.
because of the defense that the ladybug can provide for its
See,
young.
that's the weird thing. Like, so if some other random type beetle comes along, it's like, nope. How does it know?
Right.
How does it freaking know?
Well, I think it's interesting too because you have a lot of these people that say, "Oh, like zombies can never happen." Well, the undead version of zombies, yeah. This idea that it's just this dead thing that's walking.
But something could easily.
But this parasitic idea of a zombie is very probable.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, according to like some of the basic functions going on in these examples, there could be some sort of brain parasite that kills you and then reanimates your body and walks around using it as a puppet.
Okay, and here's the thing. I also came across, see if I can find it here. There is a brain worm.
Spread by tornadoes. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, spread by tornado. That winds up getting into moose. And it's not a it's a brain parasite that turns moose into zombies. Now what happens is this brain
Zombie
worm,
moose?
yes. Now what happens is this brain worm is typical in deer, white-tailed deer. But the deer don't have an issue with it. It does not affect the deer at all. But when it gets into the brain of a moose, it tries to find that same geography that it can find within a deer's brain. And it can't. So it literally just destroys the inside of this moose's brain and turns it into a walking zombie. I was watching this thing. I'm going to turn on the video right now. To look at it. This thing is like, oh my God. It's like shoving its head into the ground. It's not walking right. Its head's like permanently cocked to one side.
Is that turning it into a zombie moose, or is that just brain damage?
It literally, like, it takes away everything. I mean, you could call it brain damage. You could call it that. But to watch this thing, it's so pathetic.
Because it's not technically controlling the moose. The moose has just lost functions.
But it has changed the moose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some of these things it's scary. Because like I was saying, all it takes is one of these things to just change just a little bit to affect people.
We know there are organisms that can affect multiple species, like rabies can affect humans and cats and dogs and raccoons and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't take much, I don't think, for one of them to evolve enough to do that. That would suck.
Yeah.
We already got, things that use our bodies as like birthing capsules and stuff, like
Sure.
botflies.
I just want you to know, gentlemen, I think we've convinced some men in the chat room to go after the crazy cat ladies in their neighborhoods.
Yeah, but they're crazy.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, you don't stay with them.
Well,
For Christ's sake, Steve.
I have never met a crazy cat lady. Well, there was a couple that are nice, but
yeah,
they're never all there. Well,
No?
some of them, I suppose, could be, but I
Are
don't
you
know.
saying you're
What's
against?
that moose movie I wanted to watch?
You want to watch the
Good.
moose movie?
You said
Rocky.
you're going to put video of moose.
No, I wasn't going to put it up because then we get nailed on fucking YouTube.
All right.
Yeah. He was
Put
watching
that
it.
up. I was watching it to describe it for you.
Well, that ain't fair.
Well, I can't fucking show it to the fucking people at home.
Fuck YouTube. Just
You know? Listen,
And that's the conclusion of our show.
I mean, you can't have everything, Steve.
Just imagine a moose going crazy, Steve.
Yeah,
I was imagining it in my head.
Side,
Okay, well,
can't walk right. It's on 4 legs, Steve, and it can't fucking walk for shit.
All right, I'll just imagine.
Imagine. Steve.
That's funny. I was imagining out loud. Sorry.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Some days, Steve. But it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder if real life zombies could happen.
I think so.
Zombie people.
it makes me wonder a lot of things because there's also like a caterpillar, I think it is, that its body has evolved over time to where it looks like a snake.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
To ward off birds and other predators.
And it even knows to wave itself in the
Right.
air, just like the snake it's mimicking.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, you have the different, insects out there that look like, they're completely camouflage. They look like specific leaves and stuff like that.
There was another wasp I forgot about that. It attacks spiders. It goes in and it lays an egg on the spider's abdomen, just attaches it to it.
Where the spider can't reach it.
Where the spider can't reach it. The egg develops and then burrows into the spider, takes it over, like basically drugs it under its own control.
Like that crappy Wild West movie?
And then, yes. And then eventually, but without Will Smith, eventually it makes it spin this strange web that it would never spin and hang a single string so that it can make its cocoon. And then and the last thing that it does once it emerges from the cocoon is devours the spider. It's a fucking, it is a very vicious and strange world. And I went down this whole rabbit hole I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I just sat and watched video after video after video. And I was like, what the fuck?
So you have a couple of situations at play here. Either we have
stoned,
very little understanding of the abilities of science and nature, or there is some sort of intelligent design at work that is also extremely cruel and morbid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going with the science and nature thing.
That it is. I mean, it is very odd that these things have found these. They're in very specific niches. It's insanely specific.
I mean, how long do you have to be preyed upon before your body starts changing the way it looks until it looks like a predator of the thing that preys upon you?
Yeah.
I mean, how is that even possible, man? How is that even possible?
Well, but here's the thing you got to remember about caterpillars / moths or butterflies or whatever the case may be in this particular one. I can't remember. They have the ability to have way more generations in one of our lifetimes.
Right.
So their ability to adapt and change is a lot faster. It just, I was actually watching an old, not an old, one of the, you remember when they came back out with the Outer Limits in the 90s?
Yeah.
I was watching the one with Bo Bridges. It was like the pilot episode. It's almost like a movie because it was like an hour and a half long. It was actually based on a George R.R. Martin story. about soil samples that they brought back from Mars that had these eggs in them that wound up being these little insects, and how they adapted so quickly because they were able to have so many different generations, and then they became intelligent, et cetera, et cetera. But that, I think that's what we're seeing when it comes to these things like these caterpillars or whatnot. They have the ability to have an insane amount of generations in a very short period of time, so they can adapt. Same thing with like these parasites, these single-celled organisms like toxoplasmosis. I mean, the amount of generations that can pass in like a fucking 5-year period for this stuff. And that's why I say all it takes is one little tweak in one direction for that thing to change and to be able to control us in another way, which could be horrifying. You have fucking zombie people.
I'm already scared.
We all should be. These things are creepy. You know, should understand. But I went down this, and it was a rabbit hole. I just sat there in awe. Like my jaw just bugged. What the fuck? Blown away. I mean, because we've all heard about these different things, these different creatures that take things over and, you know, make them do shit. But to like really go down the rabbit hole and watch each of these individual little things and how they've carved out this little spot, like the cordyceps with the ants and the wasp with the fucking ladybug, and then the other wasp with the damn cockroach, and the one with the fucking spider.
Well,
I'm rooting for the cockroach wasp, though.
They are beautiful, Steve. They're emerald colored. They're fucking pretty as shit.
And they kill cockroaches.
They're cute little fucking wasps. I'm not gonna lie. Cute little fuckers.
yeah, but they kill one cockroach.
Yeah, but there's more than one of them. Not just one guy out there doing all the work.
Well, I'm pretty sure cockroaches outnumber these wasps.
Probably.
For now.
Well, if that ever changes,
war rages on.
like, do you want a wasp infestation in your house?
No, I'm allergic, but maybe not to that particular wasp. I'm hoping. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I mean, just the concept. I mean, you know, yeah, there's lots of parasites, you know, ticks, fleas, all these things like tapeworms, like it goes on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of like, then the parasite has the ability to take over and control the host.
Yeah.
That changes the ball game.
Yeah, and to just think about the idea that when you get the flu, your brain chemistry changes to make you want to go out in public. Not like you decide that.
Right.
Your brain chemistry, because of the flu, changes in such a way that makes you want to be around more people.
To allow the virus to survive.
Correct.
But viruses don't think.
But this one...
So what
make
makes it happen? You see what I'm saying?
Well, what probably happened, if we're thinking evolutionarily speaking, the types of flu viruses that caused this brain chemistry change in people were the ones that were more effective.
But how did those viruses come into existence to begin with that happened to do that?
A simple mutation. That, if you want my honest opinion, a simple mutation. In that case, I can totally buy a simple mutation.
But why would that mutation exist in the first place?
Just maybe it just happened. Maybe something happened that caused the virus to create this protein within people. I don't know. I'm speculating, but just this one time. And then because it did that, it was far more effective. And it spread a lot more. So then it became the more dominant strain. That's my guess. I don't think it was done for any specific reason. I think it was just a genetic hop. Like it was a mutation. Just happened. This one time, and boom.
That's how evolution, if you believe in such a thing.
That's right. Correct. That's how it works. But that I buy with a lot of these, like the cordyceps fungus. It's like, what was it doing before? Like, how was it working before?
Just
its
falling on,
incarnation now,
just falling everywhere until
until it got to the right place and
the right
everything-
mutation of the fungus, like landed on an ant and was successful.
Aha!
I mean, and, right.
How did it keep from dying out before then?
Right, like that's with something like that, it's a little harder for me to wrap my head around how it got there. With the flu viruses, okay, it was already attacking people to begin with. It was already infecting people, and then it had a mutation, and then this is what it does now. But it's very interesting that it does that to the brain chemistry. With the cordyceps fungus, it's a whole different type of ball game. Like, because you don't have instances of the cordyceps fungus beforehand infecting ants, but not bursting out of them and killing them. Or, changing, you don't have that. We don't see that anyway. We're personally not seeing that, the before, what it was like before. But
I'm going too deep, man.
Weird ass fungus, man. It fucking
I gotta
creeps you
pull
out,
out, man, because
fucking creeps you the fuck out.
well, where did it come from to begin with?
Well,
Why does it even exist?
then you go down these rabbit holes of our fungus or fungi, mushrooms, etc., alien or extraterrestrials. Because there are people who believe that spores, because they can survive in the vacuum of space, could have come from another planet.
Yeah.
So they could have already had their niche and maybe just changed a slight way when they got here. But there are people who believe that fungus are not native to the planet because they don't work like anything else. Fungus breeds oxygen. The largest organism on the planet is a fungus. It's a mushroom.
Yeah.
Is it in Washington or Oregon?
I think Washington.
Yeah. It is massive. But yeah, in these things, do they demonstrate some type of intelligence? I don't know if we could quantify it as intelligence, but they definitely have found a way to perfectly procreate. They found that perfect little spot in the ecosystem. It's fascinating. Like I said, when I go down these little rabbit holes, I'm fucking lost. And I went down this one, and whoo, dear God, this is fun shit.
No, it's not.
It is, Steve.
You freaked us out, man.
Listen, what am I supposed to do? You're
a harbinger of doom. That's what you are.
Yeah. I can't help it, Steve.
It's not possible. It's probable. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Fucking invasion of the body snatchers. Pod people.
Well, yeah, I mean, just take the fungus, for instance. If it eventually gets to a point where something happens and ants start disappearing, it's going to have to move on to something else.
Yeah.
To survive.
If it can wipe out an entire colony of ants, then what? So it's going to have to do,
Well, I'm sure there's quite a few ants on the
I'm sure
the jungle forest floor, but
But if something happened, a catastrophe or something,
yeah,
and say in this area of the world, ants became extinct,
right,
then the fungus will either die or evolve.
or we'll find another niche. Yeah,
Right.
My bet's on the fungus.
Oh,
Finding
yeah.
another niche.
Absolutely. I think so too. And again, scary because all it takes is those little changes.
Because that niche could be humans.
Well,
Correct.
we know that the flu virus changes every season, basically. That's why
Oh,
you
yeah.
have a new flu vaccine.
Right.
It adapts really quickly to our defenses.
Yes.
I'm not. Yeah, we're gonna all be zombies.
Can these parasites do the same thing, Steve?
Yes, I would believe so.
28 days later is coming.
Hmm.
Fucking Walking Dead. You and Rick Grimes.
I'm sure it's going to be an eventual, gradual thing, but it could happen.
Steve
think
would
it-
make a good Rick Grimes.
He would make a good Rick Grimes. I think so.
I don't even know
Think
who
so.
that is.
I think so. You haven't watched any Walking Dead, Steve?
No, sir.
You're missing out.
No.
At least up till the season with the governor. You know. At least up to there, Steve. You gotta at least make it to there, buddy.
How many seasons is that?
Only 5.
Oh, okay. I might be able to do that.
Yeah, it's not bad. And the first 2 seasons are real short. It's not a lot of episodes. So you can fly right through them, Steve. You'll be good. There's zombies, there's people. They're fighting, trying to survive. These dudes fucking each other's fucking wives and shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, get into it, Steve.
So it's like a zombie soap opera.
Yeah.
All
Zombie soap opera, Steve.
I mean, I used to watch Days of Our Lives, so it couldn't be much different than that, right?
No different.
All right.
Steve. Like zero difference.
The reason The Walking Dead became so popular is because the focus is not on the zombies.
Right. It's on the people, the relationships between the people. But yeah, it's a good show, Steve. You should check it out. Like I said, up to the governor. I'd go to the governor.
No.
Stop at the governor.
No.
Yep. That's where I stopped, man. I'm sorry. Well,
That's
Sorry.
where you stopped.
That's right. It's where I stopped.
It's not where I stopped.
I know.
Still going.
I know.
That was kind of the way with Sliders after the first 2 seasons.
Oh, Steve.
How dare you?
What?
You can't do that.
I
How
can't
dare
do
you.
what?
Compare the two.
I'm not comparing the two. I'm comparing the fact that
Yeah,
it's
but what are we
crappy.
talking about, like Lost or something like that? And you'll be like, well, Quantum Leap.
I'm stuck in the 80s and 90s. What do you expect? I'm
Just
catching
saying,
up.
it's
I'm
like-
catching up slowly, but I'm catching up.
I
At least I didn't mention Walker, Texas Ranger.
fucking who wouldn't mention Walker, Texas Ranger?
Walker told me I have AIDS.
What?
Don't you remember that episode with the Sixth Sense kid?
Oh no.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah. Before he was in the Sixth Sense, he was on Walker, Texas Ranger, playing the role of a little boy who had AIDS.
Well, I currently watched Sixth Sense Boy in Extremely Wicked, whatever the fuck it is, that Ted Bundy movie on Netflix.
Oh, is he in it?
Yeah, like the fat version of Sixth Sense Kid. Yeah.
I see cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
He's saying he put on a few pounds.
He has.
Yeah, he has. And he wholeheartedly admits it too.
Well,
Like if you hear him talking in interviews, he's extremely candid about it, which is awesome. Haley Joel Osment, I give him props.
But during times that like actors aren't working, a lot of them just like, blimp up a little bit.
Has enough time passed for me to talk about Avengers yet?
no.
Okay, listen. Fuck you all. Spoiler alert. Fucking Fat Thor.
I love Fat Thor.
Fucking Fat Thor was the best thing about Avengers Endgame. And the fact that they didn't make him skinny Thor, skinny ripped Thor,
Yeah.
like at all. They kept him Fat Thor
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie.
Like, oh, you've made him a sex symbol, have you? Well, we're going to turn him into the Big Lebowski.
fucking the dude.
The dude Thor.
Oh, yes. Fat Thor made my fucking day. And literally the fact that when he at the end of the movie when he goes to get his fucking hammer and everything and the suit comes on him and he's still Fat Thor.
Yeah, he's still Fat Thor. And the suit fit.
And for the people who say that's fucking fat shaming, fuck off.
Oh, dude.
Fuck
I've been
off.
Fat Thor my whole life. Like, it's not fat
Anything,
shaming.
it made fucking guys that are a little tubby feel like, all right,
Yeah.
Fat Thor.
Yeah. We're the only guys reading Thor anyway.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Fucking Fat Thor was the shit.
Like the fact that he's living like a slob and like guzzling beer and playing Fortnite with his boys.
Kids fucking being like, I'll come
Yeah.
to your fucking house. Yeah. Oh god, that was the best. I mean, I won't ruin anything else because I actually had the movie ruined for me by Facebook, you fucks. But yeah, Fat Thor. Oh my god. Wasn't that the best? Fucking Fred Dunn, get on Fat Thor.
Get on it, boy. We need some Fat Thor portraits out there.
You need a 4-pack Avengers Endgame that includes Fat Thor.
Yeah. Just do the evolution of Thor in the Marvel Universe. With the last one being Lebowski Thor.
Yes. That would be the fucking best. Oh shit. Steve, buddy, old pal.
Huh.
You got any news this week?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Did we throw you there with that last one?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, Fat Thor. I'm all in.
Oh, good.
You watch the Travel Channel at all? Or
I do not. I'm not, Steve, I'm not much of a TV channel person anymore. I'm a Netflix, Hulu, that type of person.
Okay. Well, this might change your mind.
Okay.
DredCentral.com, Louisiana, and its iconic bayou. Is there a bayou?
Bayou. Oh, no, bayou.
Bayou. I'm going to call it bayou.
Don't call it bio.
What are we going to alienate all our Louisiana fans?
Yes.
All right. Bayou have been the source of some of America's most chilling ghost stories and documented supernatural encounters. This makes it a perfect setting for the Travel Channel's new series, Ghosts of Morgan City. It debuts the 21st of June at 9 p.m. I don't know why this is news, but we're reading it anyway.
And plus, Morgan City is in Louisiana, which also helps.
Sorry.
Yeah, I see.
Uh-huh.
There's something strange happening in Morgan City, Louisiana.
What's that, Steve?
I don't know. Police Chief James Bo Blair is ready to get to the bottom.
Oh,
of it.
Blair's ready to get the bottom of that shit.
Right.
Is this a sequel to In Heat of the Night?
That's right.
But with ghosts. Yes.
They call me Mr. Tibbs.
That was
Bubba,
a great show.
you seen that Poltergeist?
Bubba?
It was a great show.
I ain't seen that fucking thing there, Chief.
With a surge in unusual emergency calls related to unexplained paranormal encounters, Chief Blair has reached out to Police Chief Mike King of Shepherdstown, west of Virginia, who not too long ago was in a similar situation. Following Chief King's advice, Chief Blair decides to recruit a team of specialists. That sounds like the A-team.
Can we remake In the Heat of the Night with Jackie Gleason and Richard Pryor?
Did anybody catch that?
They dead.
I wrote it. All in the Family and Jefferson's live show, because we were going through tornadoes, so I wasn't able to watch it.
No, I heard they did some of the audio on the radio show that I listened to, but I did not catch it. No.
Wait, what? All in the Family and the Jeffersons live show.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did it with current actors. Woody Harrelson played the Carol O'Connor part.
Yeah.
Marissa Tomei played Edith.
Yeah.
They had Jamie Foxx played.
Yeah, Jamie
Jefferson.
Flop, dude. How do you go in the role of George Jefferson? How do you go Jamie Foxx and not Kevin Hart?
Yeah. Kevin Hart would, in my opinion, would have been the better choice. Yeah.
I don't know how we got on the Jeffersons and All in the Family, but
Listen, Steve, this is how this works. You just fucking roll with it, all right?
Ghosts of Morgan City is premiering on Friday, June 21st at 9 p.m. Watch it.
Watch it.
Have you seen that horrible new ghost show out? Probably not. Called like Ghost Bait or Paranormal Bait or something. I think
No.
it's Ghost Bait.
No.
It's like, complete bullshit. Like,
They all.
I guess like the concept is like have a person like sit in a chair, or maybe they're even tied to the
They
chair.
have like an underage girl tied to a chair, and then like when the ghost comes in, Chris Hansen comes
Have a
around.
cookie.
Here.
But they have like a burlap sack over their head so they can't see anything. And then I guess they like provoke the spirits. They're like trying to use the person as bait for the ghost.
No, I have not seen this one, Matt.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Nor do I think I want to.
No, you don't.
If watching Travel Channel isn't your thing, but you do like to travel, now you can look for UFOs with night vision binoculars and meet alien abductees on a Mexican cruise.
Did you do that yourself, or did you read that?
I read that.
Okay.
Why? Well, I did the first part myself. If watching TV isn't your thing.
Yeah, the second
That was
way.
If jerking off while you're choking yourself is your thing.
From travelandleisure.com.
Steve, I want you to know, if you're going to scarf, always have a spotter.
If your UFO conspiracy theories, I don't even want to get into that.
Says David Carradine.
I won't even acknowledge that. If UFO conspiracy theories are enough to make you and your family want to go out to sea, and you can now book a cruise. Holland America Cruise Line is hosting a 7-day UFO cruise.
I need your precious.
To explore the possibility of what's out there while passengers are at sea.
I was hanging.
Passengers will
You were there.
In seminars at sea.
Two worlds collided.
While docking in Mexican ports to discover the history of UFO sightings and artifacts in the country. According to the cruise line, passengers will be able to see how I ignored you guys. Will be able to hear from speakers who are researchers, quote unquote, and investigators, authors, teachers, speakers, intuitive counselors, healers, contactees, abductees, and spiritual teachers. Included in the lineup is the executive director for the Mutual UFO Network. I actually read better when you guys are distracting me.
Steve, do you know what edging is?
No.
And it's not related to your lawn.
No.
Okay.
Included in the lineup is the executive director of the Mutual UFO Network.
MUFON,
yes. And documentarians from the History Channel's Ancient Alien series. Hey, you can go on a cruise with Sukalos, man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What about Childress?
I don't know. I bet he's there too. It doesn't name them. Every night after hearing from the experts, passengers can partake in a UFO watch with night vision binoculars provided by the ship.
When you can learn to hang while jerking yourself, it will be time to go.
The cruise will take place from October 6th through 13th of this year, leaving from and returning to San Diego. The cruise is available from the low price of $16.98, not $16. $1,698 per person. If you book by June 1st. So get your tickets now.
He was a master of Hung Fu.
The newsandobserver.com. Man says he saw Bigfoot along Rural Road in Georgia. And quote unquote, I wasn't getting out of the truck. A 51-year-old man says he saw a 7 to 8 foot tall creature standing along a mountain highway in Georgia Monday, leading to talk of the legendary Bigfoot.
I'm not breathing.
Details were posted this week on the Expedition Bigfoot Facebook. I didn't even know there was such a Facebook page. Operated by David Becerra. You familiar with him, Matt?
No.
No, me either. The incident reportedly happened around 8:30 p.m. along State Highway 515 in Cherry Log, Georgia, which is between the towns of Ellijay and Blue Ridge. No idea. Becerra.
I am familiar with Ellijay.
Yeah. It was still light out, and the driver braked when he saw what he described as a very dark 7 to 8 foot tall, hairy, two-legged creature with a pointed head. He pulled over, skidding on the gravel, and waited on the back side of the small patch of woods, thinking it would emerge on the other side. It never did. Edward Lee, the man who gave the testimony to Becerra, says he fears being ridiculed over the incident. So he just had somebody post it all over Facebook, apparently. But he told, with his name, but he told the Charlotte Observer he does believe he saw a Bigfoot on his way home Monday night.
He spoke to a newspaper about it.
I don't want to be ridiculed, but my own wife didn't believe me, I guess, he told the Observer. Noting they'd been married 23 years. It wasn't no bear. It was walking straight up like a human with long arms, swinging back and forth like a monkey.
So it's a double negative.
I saw it on the side of the road. It took 5 steps and was gone in the woods.
Gone.
Prior to that, he says he wasn't what you'd call a believer in the fabled creature. He wonders if a believer, yes. He wonders if development in the area is flushing them out.
Uh-huh.
I think so. Expedition Bigfoot Facebook page. Never heard of it. Huh. Anyway, fellas, that is the news.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's all you got?
Yes.
Shit. I was hoping,
I was
hoping you were going to have a good scarfing story.
Let me look one up.
That's some good news, Steve.
What's scarfing?
It's jerking off while you're strangling yourself.
Oh, I thought that was called something else. Autoerotic that.
It's called that too.
Okay.
It's in layman's terms, Steve.
Cool kids call it scarfing.
It's a little bit easier to say. Yeah.
That's right. You don't have to go through all that stuff.
Well, next week on the news, scarfing.
Scarfing. I think you should do some research, Steve, and
No.
maybe we can do a PSA for the kids.
No.
About scarfing.
But if I asphyxiate myself while
because if you're gonna do autoerotic asphyxiation, Steve, you should at least, know the ins and outs.
I would be dead, wouldn't I? Doesn't that usually result in
Not necessarily.
asphyxiation?
Not if you have a spotter, Steve.
Oh,
and your wife is in the medical field, right?
Well, she's a nurse's aide. She's not qualified to, revive somebody who's asphyxiated.
I think you guys
masturbation.
Bring back a special live episode of Nasty Dog and Rat Boy or whatever about a Bigfoot case where a Bigfoot body is found scarfing.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh God! Don't give me any ideas, Matt. The David Carradine of Bigfoots.
Legend. Well, no, it doesn't continue.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll be able to get the lady archaeologist. I know she's in Belize currently. I don't know when she's back exactly, but I will discuss that with her when she returns next week. I'm thinking, and Matt, I know this is a sore subject for you.
Oh, good.
Is it about tornadoes?
No, it's not about tornadoes. No. No, not the chupacabra. I thought because the U.S. government now recognizes it as a formal religion, we should go back and look at Satanism throughout the years, in all of its bullshit and forms over the years. So I was thinking that could be a road we have not traveled down before. not necessarily a fan of the whole religion. But I thought
you don't care to worship the devil and shit.
a lot of them nowadays, Steve,
Don't worship. Yes,
they say, quote unquote, that they do not worship Satan. Yes, yes,
I don't
Matt,
understand.
yes, yes. The chuckle is well deserved, Matt. I'm right there with you. Why call it Satanism then?
Isn't the purpose of a religion to worship something? Or to believe in something?
They claim that the worshiping of Satan is the worshiping of power. But anyway, that's something we can get into in the show. I just wanted to throw the idea out there because it's something I've wanted to discuss for a while. And I know that like it with some people, it stirs up a lot of emotion, and it can cause some. I think it could cause some good discussion. Talking about religion, therein.
I'm okay with it overall because it is something that's been around for like a long time that a lot of people take seriously.
Yeah.
Even if they are just nerdy guys living in their mom's basement.
Mm-hmm.
But my problem is with like the religions that people just create to mock,
Right.
other religions.
Right. Well, and you got to remember, there are people out there who firmly believed that when Lovecraft came out with the Necromonicon, that was an actual book.
Yeah.
Like, and there's a lot of these things. The Satanic Bible that was published in the 80s was published by Anton. It was written by Anton LaVey. There have been many different incarnations of a quote unquote Satanic Bible, but like I said, these are all things we can go into next week. It's just something I thought we should go into, being that is now recognized. But anyhow, on that note, hopefully this bed is not too loud, but we're gonna try it anyway.
What?
Matt says it's not. So Steve, if it is, then the end of the show's fucked up.
Music bed, Steve. Music bed.
Oh, music! I thought something else was going on completely.
Yeah, Steve, I'm gonna fuck live on air.
I wouldn't put it past you.
Audio only.
God Almighty. On that note,
Steve, turn it down.
you're a pain in my ass, Steve. Pain in my fucking ass. This has been the Fortean Slip, episode 79. The zombie parasites are coming, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna take us over. It's all coming. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Check out Matt Nab at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads and Cryptid Tales. Check out Richard Allen's blog is below the show, and Bigfoot with Keith and Cullen on Facebook. He's always putting out some wacky fucking comic strip about something. Sometimes I don't get them, sometimes I do. But check it out anyway. Check out Para Breakdown. He's not doing much this month, but you can check out his other stuff and older stuff at youtube.com/Para Breakdown. As always, check out our good friend Fred Dunn at youtube.com/Dred Funn and dredfunn.com. He is currently at one of the Comic-Cons, I do believe, this weekend, selling his wares. So, shout out to Fred, always doing something good and awesome for us. I will be getting a new tattoo. Yes, Steve, new tattoo. I'm gonna get a wizard.
That's overdone.
Overdone?
Yeah, whatever.
That's what I'm doing, Steve. Because I'm covering up Superman.
Oh yeah.
Going bye-bye. No more Superman for me. It's going away. So, and we will be back next week, ladies and gentlemen, with another wonderful show, more than likely, on the wondrous religion of Satanism, where you too can worship the devil. So,
Oh, hell. No, I'm not even going to do it.
on that note, see ya!